Boy George defined the 80s with his style and his music. Boy George's band, Culture Club, sold 33 million albums in their 4-year history. Now, he's been out of the spotlight for over 15 years, but he is back with a new Broadway musical based on his life. It's called Taboo. The producer is, of course, Rosie O'Donnell. Please welcome Boy George.
Make sure no one sees up my skirt. I'm very bad.
Skirts are in.
Just sit to the side. But you know, George, skirts are in, but so is shaving your legs.
Not if you're a man, darling.
You look wonderful, darling.
Thank
we
you.
haven't seen each other in 15 years, you and I.
I know, you came to my house, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
And I recovered.
Well,
No, we had a wonderful
most people
time.
do.
Rosie O'Donnell is producing. Her heart is in this. Her money is in this. What's it been like to work with her? She's our pal, so be careful.
He loves her.
Well, Rosie's very passionate about what she does, you know, and also she's going through a very difficult trial at the moment. And having stuff in the press every day.
Yeah.
You know, some of it is true, you know, because, I mean, in any production, there's going to be dramas because we're dramatic. That's what you do in drama.
Theatre.
But some of the stuff that's been reported has been completely untrue, and you know, you wonder where it's coming from because obviously it's coming from someone in the theatre, so that makes you suspicious of everyone you work with because you think, well, who's doing it? You know, because some of it's so personal and no one could know but someone in the theatre.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
And you just think, well, why would you do that to people you're working with? It's very unprofessional.
Well, did she yell at somebody in particular?
Oh, she yells at everybody.
Well, sometimes people take that seriously and take it to heart, and then they want to get you back. That's
I bet
what
you
happens.
yell at people.
No, I don't. Never.
Never?
Never.
I do.
Well,
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't yell at anybody.
Well, I think that, you know, there's different types of yelling, you know. I mean, I think that if you're yelling with passion, that's OK. I grew up in an Irish household where food rarely stayed on the table because it often ended up on the walls. So what you call a drama, to me, is just a kind of row.
speaking of drama, do you do something like this with your looks every day?
Well, this actually look is based on the character that I'm playing in the show, a performance artist called Lee Bowery.
I see.
And this was a kind of like a sort of mix of things that he did and things that I do.
And it's opening next week, isn't it?
13th,
The
yes.
13th. Where have you been since I saw you last?
Oh,
I
I've
mean,
been
you were
busy.
all over the place.
I've been busy.
What have you been doing?
Well, I write a newspaper column in Britain for The Express. You know, I DJ, I've done a radio show, I've done a cable TV show, you know, everything.
You're a renaissance.
So you've been busy.
Yeah, whatever, I've been
Renaissance
busy.
man.
You obviously don't play yourself in Taboo. Ewan Morton plays you.
Yes, it does a fine job.
I'm sure he does, but it's really about your rise in popularity and then your involvement with drugs. It's a tough thing, I would think, for you to see. You play a performance artist in it, right? A kind of known for wacky clothing.
No, I'm not myself, of course.
It's a stretch. It's a stretch. And eventually you die of AIDS, I believe.
Lee died of AIDS, yeah.
Lee dies of AIDS.
Yeah.
What was it like to perform in this? Is it hard for you?
You know what? I mean, I'm
this?
a little bit detached from that period of my life anyway, and I'm not very precious about it because people keep saying to me, what's it like to have Ewan on stage with you? I watch him when he does the first song. Every night I watch him because he makes me so proud, partly because he's got such a beautiful voice. I mean, the guy has got a voice of an angel. I don't know where we found him. He's like Karen Carpenter. And I watch him and think, he looks fantastic and he sounds fantastic, and it's not me. You know, I'm not something like going, oh, it's me. You know, he's reliving my youth. I mean, I just think he's fantastic. He does, yeah. He's got my nose, you know, unfortunately.
Well, you're both cute.
You know, you have never shirked answering tough questions, and when we did an interview with you all those years ago, we asked you, at that time, remember this was the 80s, a very provocative question. Let's take a look at it, and we'll bring it up to date. Are you bisexual?
Yeah, of course I am.
Could you go as easily one way as the other? I mean, if a divine man walked in and a divine woman walked in, you wouldn't care which?
Yeah, I think Elizabeth Taylor when she was thin and young.
You could be as
Montgomery
happy
Clift.
with Elizabeth Taylor as you could with Montgomery Clift.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so my question is today, you have a choice, J-Lo or Ben Affleck?
Yeah, which is it?
Why do I have to have that as a choice?
You granted Elizabeth Hurley.
I think Delmont Mulroney is the most handsome man in America.
We don't know him.
He was in that.
do.
He is gorgeous. Oh.
Gorgeous.
So that's who you would pick. Okay.
Sorry.
But George, is the truth that you're trisexual, you'll try anything? Tell the truth.
If you want to be really controversial, and I know you do.
Yeah.
I think everyone's bisexual.
You do?
Yeah, you do.
Just because you don't act on an impulse doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I mean, you know, if you ask anyone if you could kill someone, a lot of people could, but we don't go out and kill people.
Yeah,
You
I
look at me
see.
like
So
I'm
everyone
mad.
has the potential.
Yeah.
The
How can you
potential.
not love what you are?
I know. I love me.
No, how can
Definitely.
you not find what you are attractive? It's a
Oh,
ridiculous
I do.
concept.
I think that women are beautiful. I don't want to do them. Okay? That's just it. Honestly, that's my heart. You asked.
Well, I mean, you know, I think it really depends on how connected you are to your subconscious.
Depends on how lonely you are, I think, is the real point.
Well, that doesn't say a lot about women if you say things like
Well,
that.
you know, you're saying it's a potential. So if I'm in a jail cell with women for 10 years,
Maybe.
maybe...
Well, there you go. I think that the real thing is to just be able to admit that it's a possibility, you know,
That's
because
right.
I think what we do
Okay.
with sexuality is we try and turn it into this thing that's outside of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, it takes two heterosexuals to make one homosexual. We cannot exist without you, so it's all your fault anyway. So, like, if you don't like it, get over it, because, you know, without you, we don't exist. So thank you and keep up the good work. It's true.
How did the whole makeup thing begin? I mean, how did this whole makeup thing begin for you? Like, when's
Well,
the
I'll ask
first
you all a
time?
question. Do you like yourselves without makeup?
No, but
Yes.
Yeah.
You do?
No.
I
Yes.
don't.
I like that. I like my, but you know what? I got to be honest with you. I'm distracted because I really want to know what number lashes those are because I want them. They are amazing. I absolutely
You
love
don't
them.
like yourself without makeup?
Well, you know, I prefer myself with it on. I feel a little bit more, you know, a little
Every day, even when you're
Not
even
every
in
day.
real
I mean,
life?
early on in
What
my
is
career.
real life? Yeah.
Well, early in my, I mean, I worked with Dolly Parton a couple of years ago, and I
Yeah.
turned up like in the daytime, really not dressed up, and she was horrified. She said, "Do you go out like that?" And I said, "What is that supposed to mean?" And she said, "Oh, I would never, in case someone jumped out of a bush."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I'm not that paranoid, Dolly. You know, I just, you know."
She's kind of like a drag queen anyway.
Oh, she's fantastic.
Don't you remember she once said something like, "Do you know what effort it takes to look this cheap?"
She said
Anyway,
it
you
takes
know
a lot of money to look this cheap.
That's right. You were wonderful and outrageous when I met you in the 80s, and you made me a little swingier than I was. I was pretty dreary. Look at me now with these women. Maybe I still am, but I thank you. And we're
Thank
all
you.
looking forward to the show. We thank Boy George, and if you're in New York City, you can see Taboo at the Plymouth Theatre starting November 13th.
Coming.
Good.
We'll
We
be
want you.
right back.
How about your fun?